Hey y'all, it's Grant Hartman here with Muenster Grass Fed. Not everything we do here on the farm has to do with raising beef, but food production in general is a hobby of mine. And today I'm out here in my orchard pruning peach trees. And so I just want to talk to you a little bit about that. Some of you here in Texas might find that of interest. You can grow peaches here, it's not that difficult. But I just kind of want to talk about my yearly pruning chore, and maybe you'll find it interesting. I've got a few of these trees already pruned. You can see these peach trees have been limbed up pretty good for this year. What I'm shooting for is well, when you first get your tree, you'll probably buy a young whip, and you'll go ahead and cut the whip where you want your branches to form. And then you're going to train your scaffolds, which are these larger branches here, and try to get them closer to horizontal rather than straight up and down, because those add strength to the limbs and they can carry the fruit load for you. As the tree gets older, it's going to keep on growing out like it is, and you want that open center in order for sunshine to get down to the tree and provide energy for the fruit to ripen and become really delicious like we all love. So what I do is I'll start off with a tree like this. It's February 16th today. I like to wait till the buds are just about to break on these to prune them, and I'm actually a little bit early. You can see these buds if I can get my camera to focus. They haven't quite swelled up and they're not quite pink yet. When you start seeing them have a little bit of pink, you need to get out there and get it done, because they're about to break. The reason why I wait so long is because I think that if you can prune them a little bit later, it puts that tree in shock and it'll delay budding out for maybe a few days or maybe even a couple weeks, and that prevents late frost from killing your peach crops. So that's pretty important. With trees like this, what I'll do is first off, I want to open the center. You can see these suckers coming straight out of the scaffold branches, like right here. All these suckers, they're going to go first. Those are the easy ones to figure out. Then you want to look more about how to open the center up. You can see this branch here. It's kind of growing more towards the center of the tree, which is not what I want. I want them growing out. Once I get the middle of the tree cleaned up, I'll go ahead and start working on the exterior branches. I don't want anything growing underneath. So you see this branch coming out from the scaffold. It's growing underneath that scaffold. Well, that's going to get shade all summer, so you don't want that because it's not going to ripen your fruit. So that would come off. And when you get to the top, you don't want these things growing 10 feet tall. So you'll go ahead and limb them back so you can actually reach your fruit. So I might cut back to this bud right here, and that's an outward facing bud. So it'll shoot a branch outward from the tree. You don't want to prune to inward facing bud like this, because then it's going to grow towards the center of the tree. So it's pretty common sense, but if you've never done it before, then you wouldn't know. It just takes some practice. I will say this about these trees is they grow extremely fast, so don't be shy about pruning them. And they make tons and tons of bloom. So even though you can see like this tree here doesn't look like it has a lot on it, but this is a lot of fruiting wood here. This is fruiting wood. Whoops, I just knocked that bud off. And I'll have to come through here and I'm about to thin off a lot of peaches off of even this. And I took away probably 70% of all the fruiting wood that was on this tree by pruning it. You want to thin your peaches out to, I think it's 4 inches, maybe 6 inches. We'll talk about that in a future video though. Now, before you start pruning your trees, something important is you want to have some bleach water. Just have some diluted bleach and some water. And you want to go ahead and sterilize your pruning shears before you make a cut. That's important so you don't spread diseases from tree to tree. That's really important with apple trees, and I'll talk about them at some other time. But I'll go ahead and try to set my camera up on a time lapse, and you can see me tidy this tree up, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this peach tree. Just a few notes on this. I want to point some stuff out. Let's take a look right here at this this branch coming out here. You can see last year I made a cut right here with an outward facing bud, and that forced that branch to grow out and up, which is what you're shooting for. As opposed to having a branch right here. If I'd have chose like something like this bud, if I'd have cut this branch off here, this bud would have grown into the tree, which is not what I'm looking for. So that's why I do that. You can see on these larger cuts on the top, you can see which bud I chose. There's a bud here, there's a bud there, bud here. So everything's an outside bud, shooting it out that way, towards the sunshine and away from the center of the tree. You can see these little reddish sticks and even some of these bigger ones here. That's where all your peaches are gonna be. And there's plenty of fruiting wood on this tree still, even though I probably removed, I would say 60% of it, maybe 70%. It's gonna have plenty of peaches, and I'm gonna have to come back and thin. So this heavy pruning job does two things for me. One, it kind of puts the tree in shock, and with any luck, the tree's gonna just chill out for a few more weeks before it starts trying to push out a bud, and that'll prevent it from freezing out, which is, you know, what happens probably every 4 or 5 years. You know, you'll just have a complete crop loss because of an April freeze or something. But hopefully that'll put the tree in shock to prevent that. Two, when you trim these trees up, you don't have to thin as many peaches out. Let me tell you, thinning peaches is not fun. We have to do thousands and thousands of them. A tree like this one here, this one, I think it's the Ranger peach. It just makes thousands of peaches. You just gotta sit there all night picking peaches off after work, and it's not a pleasant chore. It's something that if you can't avoid, then just go ahead and avoid it. Another thing that I want to try this summer is summer pruning. That's gonna try to tame back the vigor of this tree, and instead of getting those really long suckers, you know, maybe the vigor of this tree can be tamed a little bit, so the February, March pruning job isn't quite so intense. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed these videos, the time lapse and all that good stuff. I have about 50 apple trees coming in the next few weeks. I'm gonna be planting those. I might shoot some videos on those. I've got my apple trees over here on the north side of the orchard. We'll be pruning those here soon. And I'll also be doing some grafting on the apple trees and the pear trees. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, go ahead and like it and share it with your friends. And if you enjoy good, wholesome food, go ahead and check out our grass-fed beef site. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day. Bye.